Hello everybody, I'm really glad to see you back here. For those of you who just joined us, my name is Margot and welcome to this plenty nerdy geeky channel where we just talk about plants. Today I'm gonna do a second review of another e-shop that I've been ordering from for the last year. I placed my first order with them last summer during a heat wave, and I gotta say that the first time I ordered from them, what bugged me a little bit is that I couldn't find any unboxing videos from them on YouTube. I couldn't find any reviews either, and that made my whole experience with them a little bit more stressful, because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I want to buy plants from a seller that I don't know, the first thing I do is look for reviews or unboxing videos on YouTube, and I find it very helpful. So this review might be a little bit different from usual shop reviews, because I have placed about 10-ish orders with Nelumbo Garden within the past year, and I've had a lot of different experiences with them. The difference was not so much the attitude of the seller or the state that the plant arrived at my place. It was more the journey. So you might want to catch yourself a hot beverage and just sit tight, because as short and efficient as I would like this review to be, I believe that would do a disfavor to any of you who might order from them and stumble across the same kind of problems that I've had. So I'm gonna walk you through the various problems or experiences that I've had with them. A little bit of a spoiler alert. In general, I recommend them. I want to stress out that this is an unsponsored video. I did not receive free plants for me to review in front of you guys. I was not contacted by Nelumbo Garden to give my opinion about them. I was not paid either on any kind of way to give my opinions about them. This is purely gonna be my experience as a customer with them for the past 12 months. I will take this opportunity to actually insert some footage of the unboxings that I've done for the past year, because yes, I have been wanting to do a review about them for the past year. I just never really took the time, but that's gonna give me the opportunity to actually use all the footage that I have. I'm also gonna show you various plants that I ordered from them and are still here. I have to say that I believe every single one of the plants that I received from them, even from a year ago, are still here and strong and healthy. I would say that my main complaints are mostly going to be targeted at the customer service and the shipping problems that we've had in the past year. So a little bit about Nelumbo Garden first. They are based in the Netherlands. Up till a couple of months ago, I believe, they didn't have a real physical shop per se. They are mainly based on e-shop. They recently opened a physical shop, I believe, in the Netherlands. But if you are not living in the Netherlands or anywhere near where they are, you can still order from their website, which I'm going to link below. First thing about Nelumbo Garden, they ship throughout the entire European Union. They don't ship to America, they don't ship to Canada, and they don't ship to Australia. They are mainly shipping to the EU. Second point that I'm going to talk about, the shipping costs. They are fixed price. Whatever the amount of plant that you're ordering, the cost of the shipping is always going to be the same, which I personally think it's a good thing, because I tend to want to order many plants at once. Other point that I think is worth mentioning, the inclusion of heat packs is free and by default. If you order your plants during the winter time or during a cold weather, they will by default put heat packs in your package. You will not have to decide whether this is an option or not. You will not have to pay extra for it. It will be included inside of the box by default, which I think is a pretty thoughtful / decent thing to do. I would say that the way they package their plants is pretty good overall. I've never had any issue of a plant jumping out of its pot during delivery. I've never had issues with rotted plants. I've never had issues with yellowing leaves while unboxing. They use very little plastic. The only plastic that they use really is for taping paper around the plant, really. The rest is mainly paper and tissue. Something else that I want to mention about the website really quickly is that I strongly advise you to stick to the original language website, which is nelumbogarden.nl, which is, I believe, in Dutch. They have a French website, an English website, a German website, and I think that's it. But I would really not try to go through these pages because they don't keep them updated. To be fair with you, I don't even know why they still exist. I would always go through the pain of having to translate everything in Google Translate. But after setting up your account for the first time and then you go through your first order, you kind of end up knowing your way around the website even though you don't speak the language. Now that we have touched on the basic, please join me on the train of all the history between Nelumbo Garden and me. Within the 10-ish orders that I've placed with them, most of them went very smoothly. It always takes around 5 working days for the plants to arrive from their nursery to my home, which is good. All the plants were always well packaged with a heat pack inside and everything went well. There are, however, 3 experiences that I want to share with you because I believe that they literally can happen to anyone. You know, shits happen when you order your plants online, and it's not necessarily because of the seller. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. So I'm going to share with you 3 main experiences that I had with Nelumbo Garden, how I handled it, and how they ended. Because I keep on reading comments about the fact that their customer service is not the best, that their communication is not the best. So I thought it might be worth for me to tell you how I handle these situations, because I happen to have found myself needing very quick answers from them, and that was not always the case. But I think it is quite important that I tell you the whole process of how everything got sorted in the end. Because we tend to stick to the bad things and always talk about the bad things. But, you know, as I said, shit happen. And what's really important is how the business handles problems and what was the result of it. Did the problem get solved or not? And mine always got resolved. So I'm just gonna talk about the journey in the middle that was not always so pleasant, but that resulted into a positive outcome. So my first experience with Nelumbo Garden was last summer 2019. If you remember, we had a little bit of a heat wave, which caused Nelumbo Garden to decide to actually stop all the shipping and delay everything until the temperatures were going to drop down a little bit. I personally find this kind of behavior reassuring from a seller, because there are some sellers that don't really check if it's minus 25 degrees outside or if it's 40, and they don't really care if the plant is going to arrive alive or not to your place. They just ship the things and they just cross their fingers that everything is going to be fine. So at first glance, I was not too put off by the fact that there was a banner on the website saying that due to very high temperatures, everything was delayed. I actually thought it kind of made sense. I placed my first order, which I have to say was a big order. I went a little bit crazy because it was the first time that I saw a website actually proposing that many amazing plants. There were pink princesses, prince of orange, there were variecosyms, there were variegated string of hearts. They had a very good choices of plants for a very reasonable price. Long story short, it was a large order that I placed. And I see on the website that everything is going to be delayed by a month or 2. But, you know, I placed my order knowing that because I had just read that. And I feel, for having ordering with them for the past year, that every time they delay stuff, there is actually a reason. You just place your order and then it's pretty much the silent treatment until you miraculously get an email in your mailbox saying, hey, your order has been shipped. The date that they should start shipping arrived, and many weeks later I still hadn't heard a word from them. So I was kind of stressed because I feel like as a customer it is very tough to be kept in the dark like this. But anywho, call me crazy. Before I even got the first order shipped, I actually placed a second order because they had a new batch of plants that I was actually very interested in and I really wanted to get my hands on. So I ordered 2 plants just to make the shipping cost worth it. And to my biggest surprise, I received an email saying that one of my order has been shipped and And I got really surprised because my second order was shipped, actually, before my first order even got shipped. So that confused me a little bit. I'm still not really sure to this date why it turned out this way, but this is kind of what you should expect from Nelumbo. You know your orders are going to be shipped, you just don't know in what order or when, or you don't know anything really. You just gotta roll with it. So my second order actually arrived first. I have to say that shipping wise, everything went very smoothly. The package arrived within 5 days. I recorded my unboxing with my phone, and it turned out that actually one of the 2 plants were missing in the box. So I guess on a side note, what you should always remember from this experience is always film to the best of your abilities. Always film your unboxing. Because if something goes wrong, you have proofs that the wrong is not on your part. So if you ever receive a package, even if the package arrived in your house, it is not guaranteed that whatever is inside is what you expect it to be. So my best advice to you is to record everything from the opening of the box to the completion of the unwrapping of everything. That way, if something goes wrong, if a plant arrived dead to you, or if something was not packed correctly, or if an item was missing, always have it on tape so that whenever you have to contact the seller, you attach this footage and you just kindly and politely say, look, I've included the footage of the unboxing of what you sent me. There's something wrong. Shall we discuss a solution? So once I opened the box, I realized that one of the 2 plants was missing. And that was a bummer. And that was not the best first impression in the world. But you know what? I thought, okay, this is super frustrating, but let's see what they have to say about it. Because the truth is that nobody is perfect. I don't know how many orders they have to prepare a day. You're never protected from the fact that maybe an intern forgot an item in one of the package, or maybe, stuff happen. Okay, I know that. I am aware of that. I've seen enough unboxing and reviews to understand that this kind of thing happened. So the first thing that I did was just sending an email to their customer service with the footage of the unboxing, and I said, look, I'm super confused because there was supposed to be 2 plants in the box. As far as I know, in the bills that you sent me with the email of the shipping, it said that there was going to be 2 plants. I was not informed at any point that the other plant was missing. Can you tell me what happened, please? And the person basically said, yeah, I can see that the plant is missing. I really don't know what happened. We're going to refund you the cost of the plant right away. 5 minutes later, I had a PayPal notification refunding me the price of the plant. So far, it was a bittersweet experience with Nelumbo Garden. Note that meanwhile, I was still waiting for my first order to be shipped from, I think 1 or 2 weeks after, I finally got an email saying that my first order got shipped. So at this point, I was not really worried about the shipping because I knew that the first one went pretty smoothly. I had a rough ideas of how many days I should expect the package to be in transit. So at this point, I was not stressed at all. I was constantly, refreshing the DHL delivery page just to check on any update status, which is kind of what made me figure out that there was something wrong going on with the shipping. I refreshed the page, right? And I noticed that my delivery status hasn't been updated in quite a long time. So I wait for exactly 24 hours. And at this point, when I refresh the page, I see that the status of my shipping has not been updated for exactly 24 hours. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send them an email. I'm gonna get in touch. I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. I send them an email saying, look, the status of my shipping hasn't been updated in 24 hours. From my previous experience with you, I know that's not quite right. Do you think something is going on? Do you think the package is missing? Their first reply to me was just like, don't worry, these things happen. It usually takes at least 48 hours for shipping to be updated on DHL, so just don't worry about it. Everything is fine. The package is safe somewhere. At this point, I was a little bit dubious, but I was like, maybe, what do I know? I mean, they are the professionals, and I had very little experience in shippings of plants. So I decided to trust them and I was like, okay, fair enough, I'm gonna wait. 24 hours after that, so 48 hours of no update at all on DHL, my plant is still in transit, and it obviously was not. I decided to get in touch with Nelumbo again. It has been 48 hours of transit. My box hasn't gone through any checkpoint of any kind. Even if it comes with a truck, it takes less than 48 hours to drive from the Netherlands to France. So I believe now is a good time to say that there is a problem. They say, yeah, maybe you're right, we're gonna get in touch with DHL. It is worth noting that before they even said that, I had tried to contact DHL customer service on my own, which, by the way, did never come back to either Nelumbo or me. As far as I'm concerned, DHL customer service sucks big balls. And I think I waited for 2 or 3 extra days to get in touch with Nelumbo again. And this whole little game of going back and forth with them goes on for about 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, I tell them, look, even if DHL finds my box, which, if you just want to know for a laugh, if I check my status of this order right now, it is still in transit. DHL never found the box. I don't know where this box went. I have no idea. Let's be real. Even if DHL finds my box and send it to me, the plants have been in the box for 2 weeks. At this point, if I receive them, I'm gonna receive a big pile of potpourri. All right, there is no way in hell that these plants are making it alive. I have to say that at this point, the customer service of Nelumbo started to be a little bit dodgy and started to quite ignore me. When I feel like Nelumbo Garden starts to ignore me, I finally sent a message, very straightforward, saying, look, there are a couple of ways that we can play this. Either you refund me fully on your own initiative, because obviously I'm just the customer and I am sorry, but until I receive the package, you are responsible for what happens. Even if the delivery problems are not really on your hands, as a seller, you are still responsible for the package until it arrives at the destination. Okay, so you either refund me on your own will, or you resend me the box, or I take it upon me to go to PayPal and get my money back. After this email, they email me back saying, look, yeah, obviously the box is never gonna arrive. We're very sorry about that. We're gonna resend you all the plants whenever they're all available again. So I'm really, really sorry that I had to play the jerk card to finally get an answer, but sometimes, unfortunately, that's the only way that you can get an answer. And that was super frustrating for me at this point, because I was freaking out. I had about 150 euros worth of plants lost somewhere in nature, and the customer service was not coming back to me. It was starting to work out my nerves pretty hard. We all have our breaking point, and for me, at this moment, I was starting to reach my breaking point with this order. So long story short, I think a month or a couple of weeks after, they resent me all the box. They didn't ask me to repay for shipping. They didn't even try to ask for me to pay for anything. They just sent me another email saying that my order had been shipped again, and I had a tracking number, and at this point everything went smoothly, and I received all of my plants in the end, and they were all healthy, and they are still to this date very much alive and very much healthy in my living room. So that was a very painful experience, but it got a good result, if that makes sense. Which is why I don't think badly of them. I know that they are not responsible for the box being lost. Let's be honest, once the seller hands the box to the delivery service, whatever happens it is still covered by their responsibility, but let's face it, it's not really their fault that the delivery service actually lost the box. So I was just getting pissed at how the communication was going, but I wasn't pissed at them because the box was lost, if that makes any sense. If anything, I was really pissed at DHL, but since nobody from DHL was getting back to me, I had nobody else to be mad at. Otherwise, I would have yelled at the DHL people more than the Nelumbo Garden one. So that is two very different experiences with a taste of bittersweet, but with good results in the end. Now comes another completely different experience that ended well, but once again, the travel of the whole thing was a different color again. You might say that I've been having very colorful experiences with Nelumbo. This is not an order that I had placed during the lockdown. One of the items that I had in my order was a pre-order, and this thing was not going to be available until March or April. So all this thing was already scheduled a long time ago. This is very much of a bad luck / coincidence / bad karma that this whole lockdown thing happened and made everything a little bit more complicated. So during the lockdown, I received an email saying that my order had been sent. I didn't know if there were still good deliveries happening on a daily basis. At this point, I'm trying to stay positive because there is no point worrying about stuff that haven't happened yet. And one day I wake up and I see a huge red warning on my shipping on the DHL service saying that the package has been stopped. Another one tells me that the package has been put at a pickup point as I mentioned it. I was super confused because at this point I was like, I haven't asked to pick up anything. I'm just waiting for my package to be delivered at my place, so I'm very confused. There was another update saying that DHL was going to get in touch with Nelumbo. Yeah, like that's ever going to happen. As if DHL was ever going to take the initiative to actually contact anyone. That one made me laugh so much. I thought it was so ridiculous. So I contacted Nelumbo. Did they get in touch with you? To no surprise at all, Nelumbo answered no, but we are trying to figure out what happened to your order, so we actually got in touch with them. I don't know how I did this, but I managed to talk to an actual person at DHL through the DHL Express service. This person was super helpful. He told me, yeah, actually your package got taken by the national courier thing, and the tracking number is this. What had actually happened is that the local post office actually had my package. They just never emailed me or text me the new tracking number. I end up having my package. At this point, I think
it's done. Nothing can go bad.
So I start opening my box and I realize again an item was missing in my box. What are the odds that the very reason why your shipping was delayed from January to March is the very item missing in the package that you went through so much trouble to get it delivered? That was the ultimate combo. I write an email to Nelumbo and they got back to me within, I think, 3 hours. They resent me the whole bulb and we finally had a happy ending. I have it now, everything is fine. I got all my plans in the end. So what was my point really? My point was that the results were very good in the end, whatever the trouble was. I think it's very important to note that out of the 10 orders that I had with Nelumbo, 3 were a bit of a pain in the neck, but in the end I got results, I got my plans, everything got worked out. So I guess what the lesson that you need to take out from this is that with Nelumbo Garden, you're going to get your plans, but you need to arm yourself with a lot of patience because the customer service is not always the best. Shit happened. I don't know why. I don't know if it's karma. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but a lot of things happen a lot of time with me. Nevertheless, I will still order with them because the plans that I have are some of the best ones that I've ever had. If you're gonna buy from Nelumbo Garden, buy plants that you know, as in buy plants that you can identify with 100% certainty. I mean, we all know what a variegated string of heart should look like. We all know what a normal Rhaphidophora tetrasperma should look like. We all know what a normal pink princess should look like. We all know what a prince of orange should look like, and so on and so forth. And on that regard, the plants that Nelumbo Garden sells are good. But if you ever stumble across a new variegated plant that you've never heard of before, and that you can't find anywhere on the internet, I would not advise you to buy that from them. Stick to the items that you know and that you know you can identify and that you're pretty sure that that's the plant you're looking for. I'm just mentioning it because I think it is very important for people to be aware of this kind of stuff, to not rush into buying overpriced things, hoping that it will be the next best thing. and then ended up being very disappointed. Save yourself the hustle, just stick to the things that you know and that you're sure you can identify. That's it for my review of Nelumbo Garden. It was a little bit long, but I didn't really want to make it as an usual review. I thought it might be more useful for me to tell you all the troubles that I have gone through with them, and emphasize the fact that solutions were found, because I think this is what makes a business good, because it is very easy to just think that a business is amazing if you've never been into any trouble with them. I personally believe that what makes a business good is the way that they handle problems. I just thought it could be an unusual and yet useful way to kind of know what you can expect. Know that most of the time it works out for the best. I received all my plants within 5 days, but know also that if there is a problem during shipping, you know, I've been through that, and it was a way for me to just give you guys some ideas of how things can be handled and what you should expect as a result from it. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to support this channel, please like and subscribe. Or if you don't want to like this video because you didn't like it, just plainly subscribe. I'm fine with it. If you yourself have had any experiences with Nelumbo, whether it was good or bad, just leave a comment down below. It is always very useful for people who just watch the video to have a lot of different opinions. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!